Good evening and welcome to another tournament stream. Today I'm bringing you day 1 of the Twister Cup online finals for the EU server. I will be starting off with Win versus Raid in a best of 7, and that will be followed between the winner of Win versus Raid versus the winner of EG versus Loka for the first upper finals bracket match really. So today we will know one of the finalists, but no one is going to be kicked out yet because that is happening on Saturday. On Saturday we have the lower bracket matches and then we have the grand finals on Sunday. So there are definitely going to be some epic gameplay here. I'll take away the preview for you now so that it can't, so that you actually see the current score. This is not the top 4 of the EU server because the tiebreaker has not been taken into account here. We have Raid on first place, then we have Loka on second, EG on third, and it is actually Win that has the 4th place. So that is why we have Win versus Raid, and that is what we are going to start with. And it's going to start on Dynasty Sprul, Middelburg, Black Goldville, and with a potential tiebreaker on Winter Malinovka. Like I said, best of 7, the first one to reach 4 victories is going to take home it's going to go up to the upper bracket. So before they have met, Win and Raid have met before, and then it was a very close call. We ended with a 4-3, so that is definitely interesting, and that's very good potential for this whole matchup because we like epic gameplay. And as a streamer, I'm quite a fan of tiebreakers, even though as a team that's probably not the most fun. So we are just going to have to be a little bit patient. Room invite will be up soon, but we will get some lovely games in about 8 minutes from now, because that is when the matches are actually set to begin. 7:30 according to the timer, which means that the room invite will be up in about 3 minutes. YouTube before then will let me put it live, which is the reason why I always start the stream a little bit extra early, because quite frankly I really want YouTube to just be started so that I can't have it distract me from anything else and I can just focus on the games really. So in the meantime, if you are going to want some stuff you have to watch through the portal, that is not my stream. Brian is streaming that on the official channel, and for some reason it's not letting me log into the portal, so that is quite useless. Let's try that again. Okay, now I am logged in. Because even though I will be streaming, I'm also having the stream open that gives stuff, because I like free stuff as well. And with that, I'm going to enter a very shameless plug. I'm going to be giving away a lot of free stuff on my channel soon. So subscribe to the channel. Video for the giveaway will be released tomorrow. And then you know what to do in order to get some free stuff, potentially. But because there are quite a few prizes to be handed out, I think you have a relatively decent chance. So now I'm just waiting for YouTube to catch up to the fact that I am streaming. It is now starting to catch on, so it's previewing the streams now, so then I can start the stream officially, pause the stream so that I can watch the chat and focus on the games, because I do like trying to keep up with the chat. Even though there's a 5-minute delay on the stream so no one can see each other's lineup, it basically means that I will be able to respond to questions and everything. You just have to be patient because it takes at least 5 minutes before I can actually, before you will actually hear it. So we are now live on YouTube. Again, this is not a created stream, you have to watch through the portal for that. And I'm going to hope that you will enjoy the games that you see here anyway. Because EG and Loka is on the official stream, and Win and Raid is here. At the very least in the beginning. After that, we will be streaming the same matches because it will just be the upper bracket finals. So now we are just waiting for the room invite while we look at my very gorgeous 1-to-1B on my press account for the EU server. I love this camo. It is so tacky really, so much bling, but it looks so good. I like stuff like this. Doesn't have to be realistic for me. For me it's just fun. So weird camouflages I like. Same thing with this one. I like that it's shiny. Just look at the demon or dragon head on the front. It's just shiny. And here we go, we have a room invite. Win a little bit arriving. We are going to start off on the panda map, so I'm going to actually show you that. And it looks like this. This is Dynasty Pro. I call it the panda map for a reason, because it is kind of like a panda. You have base A, which is considered a heavy base. Base C considered the map base. Base B considered the super heavy base. All in all, it is a very small map, but we see a lot of super heavy and super TDs. I call them super TDs mainly because they are the slow and heavy TDs with the very big guns like the E3 and the Jaeger. Those are the TDs we generally see here. Together, of course, with the Force, which is completely overpowered at the moment. So that is a tank that has generally been spammed a lot. And that is really it. We generally see a lot of action around base C, with some heavy action around base B. But with the team game, people can go everywhere they want with any lineup that they want, because they have the team to build on. So I'll take it away on the map so that it won't be blocking your screen. Could be both anyway. We still have quite a few minutes left before we are actually going into the battle. So that is actually quite lovely. YouTube seems to be having some small issues. I'm hoping that it's actually holding as it should. But we will see. 3.5 minutes left to go. Raid already completely here and completely readied up. Win steadily coming in. Rip streaming this game as well, but then in German. And we will just have to wait and see what happens. Raid has completely readied up in two 215Bs. An STB and IS-4, a Jaeger, a 215B, and Mouse and a T-22 medium. And the STB is now being changed for a 215B. And this is what I mean. Jaeger is a tank that really works on a small map like this, mainly because it sort of counts as a super heavy. It has the cheeks that are penable, it has no turret, but it has quite a lot of armor. And of course it does very big booms. It was my first tier 10, and I mainly got it because I love the sound of the gun. At the time I was quite noob, I did not know anything about the tanks. It just looked big and it looked fun. So I decided that that was the one that I wanted. But I haven't really regretted it, because it is a great tank and I like that it still plays a part in tournaments, even though we don't see it that often. And overall the Force is much preferred, especially with the autoloader gun now, which is the reason that it is quite broken. So with that in mind, Win is still missing some players, but they still have over 2 minutes to arrive. And then we will see the first match on this best of 7. Right now it is the best of 7, the upper bracket stuff is best of 9. So we have quite a few games ahead of us, assuming that we get to tiebreaks and all of that. And then we will see. Win only missing one player now. Steadily arriving, slowly readying up. They still have time. This team from North has been a little bit lucky to get through as they have been, because if Karna hadn't tied with them on points, it would have been FBI that went through and not Win. But because Karna was also there, yeah, 3 clans, they all won one of the head-to-heads with each other, and that means that they look at the total victories for the head-to-heads, and not the total victories in total, because total victories in total FBI would have been through, but the total victories of the head-to-heads meant Win is through. So they have a chance to still bring home the Twister Cup, and with that of course I mean that the winner of this these finals is eventually going to Minsk for the official offline Twister Cup event. So that's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to see what happens. We have a little less than a minute left to go now, and we have Win now completely there and ready up with 3 215Bs, an Object 140, 2 Forces and a T-22 medium. This is basically new meta as we know it, with basically all the broken tanks with one filler tank, which is the Object 140 here. The Forces generally tend to do a lot of work. I just saw Kaiser say that they got the crate for NA last night. I'm really happy with that. I did read on Discord by Rexy that they compensated, so I'm very happy with that. Because that is really not the way that you want to stream when you have a crate stream and there are no crates. But here we go into the countdown. I'm just making sure that there is no map on the screen for you guys. And we are ready for this first match in this best of 7 for the first stage of the finals of the Twister Cup online tournament. So let's see what they do. Blaster is bringing home some luck, the rest is all pro. Gabe is a star and the rest is all pro. I have this thing where I always look at the avatars to see the unity of the team. It's kind of useless because it doesn't really mean anything, but for some reason I quite like it if people take the same avatar. It sort of gives the team a unity. So we have Win completely focused on base A, whereas Raid is completely focusing on base C. Probably the Jaeger and the Mouse will head towards base B. The 215Bs have to be a little bit quicker. There he actually turns Drizzle there. That is not really as intended. Win having been spotted. And they are going to camp base A. And that means that we see JP immediately move into camp base C. But Win will have a point advantage even if it's only slight. And we see a shot happening into a camper position, but there is no one there. So now the forces are taking positions where they can shoot anyone that comes or that is potentially going to try and get base B. Gabe taking a shot. No damage has been done yet. And Win has about 20 points advantage, which is about half a tank. So now we just have to wait. It is a little bit of a stalemate. Gabe keeping some people spotted, but not in a position to be shot himself. Nice little side-scraping sort of position on the stairs there. Right now moving into base B, the force bouncing, which can be quite expensive. Rambo taking some damage as well. Now he's on a drum reload though, and base B is pretty much captured, and they're not giving that away. But we have Win now moving around the back, creating a crossfire. Raid turning around to deal with that, but they are losing quite a bit of HP. But at the same time, Win has now sort of split themselves up, and that can be very expensive for them. Sig almost gone. We have Anti moving in. The T-22 medium takes out Sig, and they want Ollie, but Drizzle is losing a lot of HP. Win now moving in, and basically we have the 215Bs that are being steadily destroyed. A ram kill by the T-22. Toby is almost gone. There goes Anti. JP moving in. And you see already all the guns training for him. Being blocked by the Object 140. He is massively destroyed. The Mouse is still alive, if barely. And Blaster here is the last one alive on this side of the map. And once this guy really... Ooh, he actually bounces that. Fosh is taking some nice damage. And there we go. We quickly go over to the other side where Messi just got murdered. And only Toby is left. And it is a 140 that takes him out. And the first game is for Win. And that move in base B is a brilliant move by Raid. But it worked against him because A, they used the OP consumables for it. That they would have quite needed later. It actually is 7-0 victory for Win. Wow. What a game that was. But Raid capping that base would have been a brilliant move if not for Win swinging around like that and just starting to crossfire them. And now we see a totally different lineup for Raid. This is a very, very dangerous lineup. A very cheeky one as well. We see 4 Foshes, an E5, an STB and an IS4. And they're going to go up against 2 215Bs, 3 215Bs, an Object 140, 2 Foshes and a T-22 medium. Basically the same lineup that we saw last game. And that's definitely going to be interesting because the thing is that those Foshes, if they start shooting people together and if they don't bounce, then oh my god, the damage that they will have is completely brutal. But it's also a bit of a liability because if they miss or if they start to drum reload, they are basically useless for quite some time, and that would allow Win to take out the other vehicles. But it will very much depend on where they go and what they do with this, and if anyone is called out in the open. We have 30 seconds left to go before we go into the second match of this best of 7. A very interesting first game, and let's see how Raid responds to that if they take it back, and let's see if Win can keep pushing on like that. 15 seconds left to go. We are ready. I mainly just want to see what is going on, because after a match like this, I have to say that the stakes, not the stakes are high, not the pressure either. Expectations, that's the word I was looking for. Expectations are definitely high for this one. So here we go. Same avatars as before. And let's have a look, see what they do. All the Foshes, all of Raid, sticking together, heading towards base C. Win heading towards base C as well. And this could be a potential absolute slaughter. But they're going to have to realize that when they see so many Foshes. They have to know what the kind of plan is. And we see the Foshes holding at B. T22 and Raid and T spotting each other. Messi moving in. Lace taking a big hit there. He is in a tricky position. The Adamant takes some damage, but we have the Forces moving into the middle. And that could be very disastrous. Rambo taking damage now. And he is reloading. This time a very brilliant move from Raid. But will it work? Will it work with all these Foshes? Camper taking it. Rambo taking another massive hit. Kuma from north. Steadily being murdered now. Messi moving in to destroy Rambo. He's taking a massive hit now. He's almost reloaded his clip. But it's not going to be in time to take out. There he goes. Both teams have lost the gun. But HP wise, it is very tricky. There goes Kumai. I can't believe he survived as long as he did. And it's actually Raid that has lost the gun more. Even though with the next reload, Camper will actually probably... Ooh! Camper's still alive. Camper takes out a blaster. And now it is 5 versus 3, even though 3 of Raid's tanks are looking very, very healthy. And we have the 215Bs moving in. There goes Ollie. And that is a massive hit into Lace. They will have to be careful not to get forced that much. Lace trying to get into safety. Six still has a shot, but Toby just got taken out. Lace still alive, if barely. Sick now being focused on by 140. Drizzle being shot in the rear. And Camper still alive, letting Six get shot in the rear. And he's not going to survive this if the Force aims as fast as he can. There goes Drizzle. Camper still alive. Sick has a full run, but not the ability to actually use it. And now Camper is going to die. There's no helping that. But he has very little health left. And he's up against a pretty healthy Gabe that just takes him out. And the second game is for win as well. Wow, what a game again. And this is, again, something that could have worked so well. But Win just absorbed it and let it happen. And moved out of the way of those Forces for the most part. They did get some massive hits, those Forces. What a game. And that sort of starts putting the pressure on Raid. Because the team that reaches 4 victory first is the one that's going up to the upper finals. And if they win that, it means no fighting until Sunday, that is, for the grand finals. So we are moving on to Middelburg now. I'm going to show you that real quick. This is the map. You have base A, and base B that are in closest to their respective spawns in the city, and base C in the hills. I overall like the positioning around base C a lot better than in town, but with a lot of super heavies you can hold it very, very nicely. So I'll take away that map so that it's not on your screen, because that is the map that I actually left on the screen earlier this week. And we have a Raid now completely read up in 2 E5s, 2 T22 mediums, and STB, a Force and a Batchet. So that is a very fast and mobile lineup, aside from the E5. But the E5 has the super booster right now, so it can get everywhere. And they are going to go up against an E5, an Object 140, 3 215Bs, an STB, and a T22 mediums. That is a similar lineup in the forms of speed and OP boosters, but Win does not take the Force. So it will be very interesting to see what they are going to do with this. I always say that it's interesting, but that's the fact that it is every single match. And at the moment I'm seeing the reactions to Raid picking 4 Forces, but it really almost worked, guys. Honestly. So yeah, We have entered the countdown clock. We are going into the game in just a few seconds, into the third match of this best of 7. And here we go. Now we see that that Raid is actually all pro now, but Gabe is still a star. So let's see what they do. Lovely map this. I loved the old one better, but this one is still fun. We have Raid going mostly hill, but the Batchet is going to go and grab base A, I believe. And we have all of Win moving into the hills, using those OP speed boosts. Lace starting to cap the base. Kuma having spotted some people. They probably expect people to be here. And Lace is capping the base. He might get away with it. He does get a shot in. And he... Oof, just not. Base A almost being capped. The rest of Win arriving now. Both teams in pretty good holding positions, but base B is now being capped. And we have the Batchet moving out. Protected by Messi. But they also know by now that most of Win is in the hill. Especially considering pretty much everyone has been spotted. Killer taking some damage there. That is not really the position that I would prefer to drive a 215B in. Mainly because it is hard to side scrape and you have to show a lot of juicy parts of your tank. Base C being capped again. I wonder if they're going to get away with it. Mainly just trolling. Mainly just wanting to get that attention. Rambo moving in. Gabe losing way too much HP there. And we have Killer that is actually sort of reverse... Well, I can't say call it side scraping. Reverse peeking, let's put it that way. But he's also taking damage. And they're losing too much HP. Just wanting to see if they can get some damage in. Base C being troll capped again. They basically want people to peek out and take some shots and get some damage. The STB Messi shooting at Rambo from downtown. Camper losing a bit of HP. He is moving away. Thing is that at this stage it's a bit of a stalemate, but Raid has the upper hand because they kept the base first. And they are steadily getting a more and more HP advantage with those 215Bs peaking as they are. Most of Raid now unspotted. Win not so much. We see Messi moving around in the back. Kuma peeking around. Potentially going to spot the Batchet there. But Toby's actually pulling back. They know the force is there now. Gabe is not looking too healthy. Kuma loses some HP there. From Messi. And we have Camper from North now capping base A. He's probably not going to get away with it, not with Messi around there. And we see that the Batchet is instantly responding as well. And that means that Camper from North is now in official trouble. He needs to get out of there if he wants to survive. Because he has the potential to lose a ton of HP there. Which is exactly what is happening right now. And that puts Raid at a definite advantage even more. But they did stay in the base for just a little bit, and that means that Win actually has the advantage back, but not HP wise. They are 3k behind. And that can be very, very costly at this stage against this team. Raid isn't the real champion for nothing. And now we have all of Raid on the hill now. And he losing some HP. But overall there's not that much HP to be lost. They have to hold. We are at nearing 800 points. Crucial phase. And we see that the Batchet and the Foch are being spotted by Kuma. All of Win is in the hills. But basically Gabe is a liability here. And so is Ollie in the position that he's in because he can't move from there. Shots being fired doing no damage. We are at 830 points. And we see that now they are moving in. Ollie is the preferred target. He's the one that they want to take out. He does not have a lot of HP left as it is. And Raid is... There you go. We are 900 points. Win bleeding HP. And they already lost the gun. This is going to be Raid's game. Very likely. We're at 930 points, but Win just lost 2 guns. We have the T22 medium going after the 140. He's still alive, if barely. Messi just went. Both teams have lost 2 guns, but there goes Camper. Base C is being capped by Raid, and we are already at 1k points, and Raid has the game. It was a very, very slowly built game. But with people still dying, it went on for a few seconds more. And it is definitely... These are the kind of games, I love them and I hate them, because it starts off as such a stalemate. There's no real advantage, no real movement, and in the end just one team moves in, and you knew that it was going to be Ollie, because Ollie was singled out in a position where he could not move from, making him the weak link for Win. So with a minute and a half left to go, we are getting ready to go for the second match of Middelburg, the 4th match in this best of 7. Raid is making a comeback. And let's see if we see something completely different now. We have Win readied up in an E5, a Batchat, a 215B, 2 Foshes, and 140 and a T22 medium, and they're going to go up against an E5, 2 T22 mediums, an STB, a Fosh, and a Batchat. So very similar lineups, with the only difference that Win is picking a 215B instead of an E5 and a 140 instead of an STB. But very similar lineups with OP speed boost and all of that. And we just have to wait and see what they do with that. The game just now, like I said, Ollie was the all out. That is what cost Win the game here. And those 215Bs all the way to the right side. Just peeking over too much, losing too much HP in that position. And not relocating or adjusting their position enough to make it properly work for them. So with 20 seconds left, both teams are completely ready. We just need to wait for the game to be ready as well. And then we will go into the 4th match. Countdown clock has begun. We're almost there. And here we go. Those T22s, they are so strong. They are not considered OP, but they're definitely very, very strong. And let's see what Raid does with them. Similar movements to before, only now we see the E5 going to take A, and the rest of Win going into the hills. The T22s are overlooking people. Oof, the Batchat has been called out. He barely loses any health for that though, and that is very lucky. But look at Anti. Look at Anti and the amount of HP that he lost there. Camper has to stay where he is in order not to lose his life, because he just get forced. But Anti lost a ton of HP. And we now see that Django is actually moving into base C. And he might be uncontested for it. Killer repositioning himself a little bit. Lace wanted to get a shot in. They have to keep them from capping the base. But he's actually moving away, letting Raid have the base. Drizzle taking a shot there. HP wise, Win has a bit of an advantage. Point wise, they're about 2 tanks ahead. Oof, but that was a big hit. And it looked like it was a blind shot at that, because he was not spotted at the time. And we have Win moving through the city, potentially wanting to get base B. But we have Messi and the STB behind there, protecting this flank. And I'm not sure if they're going to get away with it. Toby repositioning himself. They are smelling what Win is going to do, I think. And let's see. Hill steadily held by a Raid. Win rotating out of the city again. Not risking it. But they have the point advantage. They can let the raid make the push. At the same time, you have to protect base B in this case. Gabe holding. Ollie nearby. Batchat waiting in a nice little bush to make a move. But again, a bit of a stalemate game going on. And we just have to wait and see. Toby in the Batchat making a move at the back. No one is going for base B, ironically. Camper moving into the hills. He gets spotted as he does so, though. And base B is now being capped. The Batchat is there. Small enough to hide behind the buildings. They can't decap it, and this will give Raid their base advantage back. And it will be up to Win to make a move. Win immediately going to push for B. But there's a lot of Raid there. And they have to be careful. They are not even capping the base. They are mainly moving in to get the kills. Kuma not having shot yet. Base B being taken, C being taken, sorry. And that will give Win the advantage back. If they get away with it. Which they do. And now Win has the advantage again. But they will have to be careful because now it's Gabe that is called out in a position where you don't want to be. We have Toby moving downtown. But we have Killer and Camper both there. Ready to take him out if need be. Drizzle taking some damage. Base A being kept. And he immediately goes away again when he spots the 140. And that means that Win keeps the advantage as it is. Kuma not really able to do much of anything here. Gabe using his consumable. And they will have to move in. We have Lace and JP facing off against each other. Messy. Ooh, there goes Gabe. Messy wanting. Ooh, there goes JP. Teams are losing tanks left and right. Kuma not really effective as it is, and we are at 1k points, and Win actually has the game. Raid waited too late to make that push. And Win took it home. So now the score is 3-1, and that definitely puts the pressure on Raid, sorry. Because they have to win the next 3 matches in a row if they are to go through to the upper bracket finals straight off. Whereas Win just has to win 1 more. And we are going on to the 3rd match in this matchup, which is Black Goldfield. Black Goldfield looks like this. You have 3 bases. Base A, which is considered the map base. C, considered the heavy base. Base B in the middle, very open. But if you get it, you have a good chance of keeping it. So, very curious to see what they do on this map. Again, I keep saying that. Those are kind of like my stick thing. It's interesting. I'm curious to see what they will do. But the thing is that I can't read their minds. I don't know what they're gonna do. I think at this stage, teams have multiple tactics for every spawn. And they can go everywhere they want. Because they're a team and they can build on each other. So I'm just making sure that the map is not on your screen. And we have Raid completely readied up with an IS-4, 3 T-22 mediums, a 215B, a Foch and an STB, and they're going to go up against 2 215Bs, 1 STB, 2 Foches, a 140 and a T-22 medium. So that is basically what we're going to be seeing now. Raid definitely has the pressure now. They have to win 3 matches in a row to make it work. But even if they lose, not all is lost. They can actually just go through to the finals, through the lower bracket. And here we go into the 5th match of this best of 7. Let's see what they do. Those T-22s should probably worry anyone that they meet. Because they are pretty troll. Nice little bit of orange camo. And here we go, up and away. And we see Raid Aside from the STB that is going towards the middle, focusing on the B and C side of things, whereas Win is heading towards A, but also sending their STB towards the middle to keep an eye on where everyone is going. Drizzle heading towards base B, not actually going into it, but waiting for it. And we have now Rambo has been spotted, immediately taking damage. I can't actually fly over this rock. And he pulls back, but base A is being kept. And that means that Win will have the point advantage again unless Drizzle moves in and take base B. Camper taking some damage. He has to be careful because at this stage it is so important to preserve HP because the bases are very close together. Win has a marginal... Oof. Camper, what are you doing? A marginal advantage. Drizzle now capping base B, and if he manages to do that, Win will have a very hard time. He is almost capping it, and Camper can't really do much because they are just waiting for him to peek out. And now Raid has the point advantage here. And there's not much Camper can do about that. He is safely pulling back behind the rocks. We are seeing some shots happening, but no damage being done yet. Aside from the massive damage that has already been taken by Camper and a little bit by Rambo. Camper is still not careful enough, still getting shot from the other side. Killer has been spotted, so he has to be careful as well. There's a Fosh behind there somewhere, they know. Even if they don't know where exactly he is looking at. Drizzle moving up the ramp a little bit. Mainly just wanting to spot some people. We have the 2 and 5 Bs and the Fosh heading up and over on the other side. I think they're going to try and take base B. Lace has been spotted. They need to take out those at the back. The Foshes are moving in and they are actually stopping rather than pushing in straight off, which is costing Rambo a lot of HP. And now we have Anti. Oof. Ollie taking some damage here. Massive hit into JP. Base C is being stolen. But there goes JP. But Win has lost a ton of HP as well. And they are not really in a good position. There goes Messi. Raid has lost 2 guns. And whereas Win has all of them left, they're not even attempting to cap base C at this point. They are trying to protect their own. Gabe in a difficult position, but he takes out Blaster. It is 7 versus 4. 7 versus 6. But HP wise it could go every which way. Rambo still reloading, but alive. It is 6 versus 2. And even though Sig just takes a massive hit into Kuma, he's not going to survive this one. He actually does. And now we have an STB that really wants... Oof, Sig still getting hit, but still alive. There goes Sig. And now it's only Toby. And Win is going through to the upper bracket finals to see who's going to the grand finals. But that they will have a shot at it. Very lovely game. Awesome job. I can't... Well, actually, I can't believe. I've seen Win do incredible things this tournament, and I absolutely love it. But Raid is such a formidable enemy that it still surprises me when you get a score like this. I think Win just maybe read Raid's tactics, or Raid is holding back a little bit, knowing that they still have a chance to get to the finals through the lower bracket. And I know that the other matches probably haven't finished yet, but I'm still going to look at the tournament thing to see how that is going. They are still going at it. I'm actually not sure when is the next match. Let's see, because Win will know. Because Win is already through to the next stage. In 40 minutes, so that is quite a bit. And there are so many maps listed here that I can't even fit you and with 3 dots. But that is because it is a best of 9 rather than a best of 7. But tonight no one will be knocked out. On Saturday we have all the lower bracket matches. And that will definitely make things very, very interesting. So let's have a look, see what I can do for you. In the meantime, we have plenty of time for replays. I actually have a very fun replay that I'm not sure I might have shown yesterday. I don't think I did. No, I did not. I'm going to show you a replay that I played on the NA server and I laughed so hard at it. Because it's one of the weirdest games I've ever seen. He is driving the E100 Stalwart. This is not really my favorite legendary camo. It's not really my thing. It's one of the legendary camos. I think it's a bit boring. You could do so much more with the E100 in my opinion. So let's see what he does. I know what he does because I've seen it, but seriously, this is one of the weirdest games I've ever seen, and it's just epic, and I think it deserves showing off again. So he starts by taking some damage and having a very damaged gunner that will need some fixing, which he does now. And then he's waiting for the Object 140 to peek out again. But the Object 140 knows that there's going to be a big gun trained at him now, and potentially more than one. So he's not actually making that move. Also just notice now that there are field tunes in this game. Now we have a very juicy AMX looking. You see that Ollie is already switching to HE. Which he does for good reason, doing 950 damage in one shot. He does take a hit back for it though. But that is a nice bounce. And the AMX is almost gone already. Now he does take a second hit, but he kind of has to because he sees the tortoise coming. And he loads a nice one into him while the AMX is being murdered. And at this stage you're like, okay, I'm in a very big heavy. I'm very slow. Let's try and flank a TD. But it works. And now he's looking at the one tiny part that he can HE and he does 938 damage with it. Like I said, this is one of the weirdest matches I've ever seen and I love it. We have a Spaghetti at the back that really wants some juicy Jaeger parts in this case. And at this point Ollie must be wondering what the hell is going on as well. He starts moving. Wanted to get some juicy spaghetti parts, which he gets with the normal shot. And then he's turning around. His waffle kind of needs help. And we have a mouse that is crossing over in the river, which gets a nice big shot to the flank. And Ollie uses a nice little big rock to hide, while the T-44 takes out the FV. We have the AMX that is moving in, but the AMX at this stage is a one-shot. So he gets taken out quite quickly. We're already 4.2k damage into it, mind. So the best way to face a mouse is to just go straight on for his head, apparently. But it works, and like I said, this is such a weird game. Because now even I'm in an E100, let's go Circle of Death a mouse. Let's see if we can get away with it. And the mouse isn't even paying attention to him. He's paying attention to the T-44 that he just taken out. But that means that he's showing his rear to an E100 for quite a bit. And this is basically a tactic that you see when a Mad is going to circle a TD. And it's just, like I said, one of the weirdest games ever. So he's angling and he bounces that shot. And now he just has to reload to kill him off. And he's actually looking at the Object 140 first to see if he can murder that. I would never advise shooting HE at a mouse, by the way. Grill's still alive, but it is a very juicy tank. And he is bleeding HP quite heavily. So let's see, he's now 6k, now 5.6k, don't lie Ollie. Into it. He has 2 enemy tanks left that could potentially circle him very quickly. He is waiting, taking a blind shot there, but there is no one there. And he gets spotted for it, which is a tricky thing. Because at this stage you really want... Okay, the 140 has been spotted now. He bounces, but Ollie isn't stupid, so he has to be careful. He also knows that with the object 140 there, that means that the spaghetti is out and waiting for him, and probably coming for him from another side. Ollie, by the way, has just entered the chat, so he will see me show off his replay with one of the weirdest games I've ever seen. And I actually quite like that. It is such a weird little ace, this. Spaghetti shooting him from the other side. He's not spotted, but we know that he's there. And now Ollie has to be careful. Because he doesn't have that much HP left to spare. He takes a shot, but it hits the house, so there's no one there anymore. And he decides to pull back a little bit further and use the rock to hide from the spaghetti. The 140 misses, which is basically a very lucky thing for Ollie here. And the E140 actually survives this. And Ollie is like, come hug me, bro. But the 140 does not do that. He bounces again instead. I like that the waffle is like advising him to hit, because that's generally the idea with this game. So he kills him off. And now with the spaghetti moving in, that bounces. And Ollie can take a hit, but not two. So he has to be careful. He's a little bit over-angled. But then he reloads and he kills with the spaghetti and ends with 6.7k damage. It is such a weird game, this. Just the whole trolling part and just the circling people in an E100. I absolutely adore it. It's 1570 base XP. 6711. It actually deducts 3 damage, I'm not sure why, but yeah. Very funny game. And let's see if we have a score yet. I'm actually seeing on Brian's stream that EG took it home versus Loka. That means that we are going to have Win versus EG next. And that means that we have Raid versus Loka on Saturday as a starting match. The winner of that will go then up against either the loser from EG versus Win. And everyone still has a chance to get to the finals at this stage. So let's have a look. We still have quite a bit of time left before the next match. It's also showing here. But like I said, these matches are not set to happen until Saturday. So we will have to content ourselves with a best of 9. On just over half an hour. So let's just show some more replays then. Entertain the masses by showing OP games. And I'm hoping Ollie enjoyed my showing him off. Because like I said, that was such a funny game. Let's see. I got so many great games actually, it's hard to pick. I'm going to show a replay that I couldn't show yesterday because the YouTube thing had an issue. So I'm going to go for that one, I think. Because I quite like this game. This is, again, it is a game that I've already seen, but it was such a lovely replay. Mainly because it shows some lovely teamwork between these two teammates. And some crossfire, and a very forward way to play a TD, which is something I'm always a fan of. I need to find that. I got a very lovely game in the 1A3, which is also a pretty evil tank. I'll find it after this one. Here we go. Let's see what he does. Yege, again, like I said, one of my actual first tier 10 tank that I had. It told me, the whole line told me two things. The Ferdinand told me to gold all my part, to free speed all my parts really. And the Yege told me to gold my crew. And considering that was my first line, that's saying a lot. I've been a proud gold noob ever since. Now we have an object 140, doing some cheeky hits there. And he gets a cheeky hit back. Whereas our Yege bounces a little bit. Devious and Heavy is steadily losing HP. We have a Lenio that was moving quite aggressively and is paying the price for that. And now our Jäger wants to side scrape. That is not made all that easy by the T-57 Heavy that is behind him. He is angling, wanting those that E100 to take the shot. He actually does that, but he hits the T-57 Heavy instead. So then he takes a big juicy one from the Jäger. Whereas the T-57 Heavy is just dead now, and the trouble with that is that he's died in an unfortunate spot, making it a little bit harder for our Jäger to angle. So we have a juicy batchat there, and the E100 seems to be rushing, but he's not rushing our Jäger, and he's actually getting hit by our Jäger's two-mate Hamish. Massive hit into the batchat, 1136 points. In the meantime, Ollie said, I thought it was 6k, leave me alone. Well, nope. Nice little bit of fire into the E100 by Hamish. And even though our Jäger takes a hit, Rollerman does finish off that E100. So at this stage, even though there's a very unhealthy looking batchat, so far the enemy has one gun more. They have two guns more. We have 140 that is just waiting to get ammo wrecked, which definitely helps. We have a Jäger that is steadily turning to face our Jäger, and that is basically a dangerous thing, because again, Jägers can pack a wallop, but that is the reason why Rollerman is driving one. But he bounces the Jäger, so he focuses on shooting the E100 in the cheek instead, doing a lovely 750 damage. And he's using the corpse of the T-57 Heavy now as a cover. He has to be careful because he has a little cupola and that can be penned. But he bounces that shot, and that is very lucky. The E100 though is showing him also sort of juicy points. But he decides to shoot the Jäger, bounce the Death Star, which is also a good thing to do. And we have the Jäger that is moving in steadily, but gets murdered by the Leo. And at this stage, we don't know where the batchat is. He's probably trying to survive somewhere. And he pulls back, wanting to get the shot into the E100, because the E100 is the most healthy one. But doing it side-scrapingly so that he preserves his HP as best as possible. Big hit into the E100 there, letting Hamish finish him off. Now, the batchat has been spotted, almost murdering Hamish. But the Leo takes him out, and now there's only the Death Star left. Who then only tracks Hamish, which is very lucky for Hamish. And at this stage, Rollerman would like to keep him alive because he's 6k damage into it. And Hamish is like, yeah, okay. And then the Leo is like, well, nope. It was such, this too, it was a fun game. This is how I like TDs being driven forwards. There's no need to keep back or to hide or to camp at the back. It's really not needed. Especially TDs like this, you can go front line. But the thing is, all TDs can go front line. The only difference is you have to make sure that you're not primary target. That's all. Nice fact, by the way, is that both these tanks got the same amount of XP for this battle. But it was an ace for the Jäger, and it was a first for the Object 140. So let's see if I can find you that replay that I was talking about in the 183. Because again, this is kind of like the gameplay that I prefer in a TD. It is also the way that I drive a TD myself. I've had my best TD aces just being very forwards and getting away with it. Because of course, there is a very fine line between going YOLO and being frontline, and a lot of people think that being frontline means going YOLO. But you just have to take a strategic position that works. So let's go have a look at this one then, because like I said, I had another replay of a tank that is playing forwards. And what better tank to do that in than in a 183? I've had multiple 183 aces just by being completely forward. The games are like very old now. I might still use them because they're funny games. But yeah. So let's have a look where he goes with this. It is supremacy, so it's easier to manipulate the battle. And at this stage he is going mainly towards the position that I would prefer as well. more towards the corner. The e4 heading towards the same position. And he is actually holding back a little bit, hoping to see someone crossing over so that he can shoot them. But no one is spotted. No one is in the middle to actually make that spot. Base A is being kept. Or 1A3 decides to go a different route. Spotting a T62A here. He's not going after that one though. He's going more towards the middle. And at this stage he should pretty much pre-aim. He can't turn his turret the full way. But he can create massive booms. T62A. Oh my god. 1236 damage first shot. This is why the 1A3 can be very, very nice. He is still reloading. Bouncing, but the gun is damaged. Well, it's not actually bounced then. But still. And a 1A3 is pretty frontal line. But he has to be careful here. He has to make the shots happen though. We have a 1A... Oof, the IS-8. 1257 damage. And now he has to pull back. Boy, he gets killed. We have a Jäger. Ooh, and a Jäger bounce. This is a very lucky 1A3. The force was with him, for sure. I showed the Jäger replay yesterday, but the thing is that was also when the stream had crashed, so I'm not sure how much it actually showed. Jäger now in need of assistance. Which he gets in the form of 1k HP help. Now the E4. Jäger is still needing help with the E4. Because he is a one-shot now. And he is taken out. But look at this juicy little E4. And we are 4.4k damage into it. With the 140 that wants a piece of him. And he's activated his adrenaline. At this stage his team is holding quite well at the back. And this 140 is not looking forward to getting hit by a 1A3. So he is waiting. And he gets taken out at 1280 damage. These shots though, oh my god, honestly. I don't know if he'll get another shot in, but he's nearly 6k damage in. And he's barely fired any shots really. And that is the strength of the 1A3. Especially when he does manage to bounce a few. Because if he hadn't bounced, he would have been dead already. Ooh, T62A gets set on fire. And our 1A3 kill steals the last shot. And gets 3 kills. 5,905 damage. 1,527 base XP. Lovely little ace. Supremacy points only from kills. And this is what I mean. 6 shots fired, 6k damage nearly. So that's nearly 1k damage per shot. I love it. So you always need to take 1A3 seriously, especially when it's in your face rather than camping at the back. Camping at the back because HE shells fly slower. The further the distance, the easier it is to avoid a 1A3 shot. That's basically it. I can see the chat, but there's a 5-minute delay. That is mainly the thing to keep in mind. So anything that I respond to, you hear 5 minutes later. Meanwhile, Yoda and Ollie are pretty much trolling in the chat. I can see, but there's a 5-minute delay. That's basically what you have to keep in mind. So let's have a look. I can show you at least one more replay. We still have about 20 minutes left. So I can actually show you 2 replays. Let's see, what can I show you? So, stupid thing is that with so many streams that I've had, I'm not entirely sure what I have and what I haven't shown. So if I show you replays that you have already seen, I apologize in advance. So we are in a P43. I might have shown this one as well. It does look familiar. So let's see what he does with this. This is one of those tanks in the new line that I'm not that big a fan of. I actually need spaghetti aces, I feel. So I might have to free XP the rest of it on my main account tomorrow. And get some games in or something. Maybe I'll even play a few for you. Thing is though that I want to... I would love to game, but the thing is that I can't promise any quality. And if I start noobing on stream, that actually takes away from the good feeling that stream gives. So that is why I mainly just stick to replays. Chaffee having been spotted. LTTB in a bit of a pickle there. There's a building here. And he is relocating. And it doesn't really look like to be the game that I showed before, so that's actually a good thing, I think. LTTB suddenly getting shot at. No, he's going to go back. In the meantime, Brian is showing a spaghetti replay. Oh my god. You have the spaghetti with the camouflage and it just looks so good. I really want that. The only thing that reason that I've been patient enough to not free XP the spaghetti yet is because I really, really love the standard B. Nice little bounce. Panzer 4G taking a hit. But that is what you get for field tuning. It's his own fault. Nice little bounce. And he hits him back. Chaffee wanted to get away. Wanted to get out of the line of fire. And our P43er is a little bit careful, not wanting to push too much. And he wants to shoot the IS, but the Tiger actually pushes a bit too hard for that. There goes the tier 5. There goes the tier 5. Chaffee missed. Spig also wanting a piece of him, so he is pulling back. That one does not miss. But we are only 1k damage into it. That is a bit of a lucky bounce. And now with that ram he's reduced the Chaffee to a one shot. Which is generally a good thing, he just has to make sure that he hits. Now we have a VK moving in. His team is steadily being destroyed. We know that the Spig is behind there as well. I should say SP1C because Spig is also a racist word. But I hope you know that when I'm talking about a tank, that is the last thing on my mind. And I don't mean it in any racist way. Now, VK moving in. Taking a nice big hit there. And then missing, which is a good thing for our P43er. Especially since he barely has any teammates left. We are 2k damage into it. And now he has only 4 HP left. And now we are in a 1v5 Kolobanov situation. Just so you know. Just keep that in mind. And that is the first one gone. And if he wins this, it'll be a Raz. So now he just has to get the heck out of there and go into a position where he can hold. And in relative safety. Which the corner is generally a good idea for, but at the same time it does make you stuck in one position. So it's something that I can also advise you not to do. He is holding, wanting to find enemies, but preferably not all at once, probably. He is driving through cover that could potentially give away his position. And there's just under 3 minutes left, so that technically is plenty of time. But you do need to actually find your enemies. Thing is this, with him driving through cover like that, that can actually give you away, so you have to be careful with that. IS has been spotted, probably knows, damaged himself falling down. That is worth noting as well. And now the base is being kept, but only by one person, because otherwise the counter would go up faster. He can't really see who's in there from here. So he's carefully making his move. There's his pick that he misses. And that might have given him away. It does not though. The IS also moving in. And that is only a tracking shot. That is not how you want to do it. You have been spotted as well. And the IS can have a big gun. So he has to be careful. And he gets away with that. Then we have the KV-1 that's moving in as well. And that's a bounce! Base is about halfway capped. And that is a kill. 2 enemies left. A relatively healthy spick. So now he's going to go pretty much straight on in by the looks of it. Shooting HE, bouncing. Very good thing to do. And he's going to go ram. And he rams the spick to death. And now only the LTTB is left. He has plenty of health left. There's no way that he's losing this. And he's getting a res with 3.5k damage into his 7. That is absolutely epic. Oh wow. That is what you call an epic game. Can't put it any other way. That is an epic game. Very nicely done. So with that, we have about 5 minutes, I believe, before the room should be up. 12 minutes, which means that 5 minutes before, and we do have 7 minutes. I can go show you a quick other game. Let's see. Let's have a look what I have for you. I have so many aces in the standard B, it's ridiculous. I'm not entirely certain what to show you, really. I do have to decide at some point, because otherwise, yeah, useless. Let's see. Let's show you a very underappreciated tank these days. T-44, a tank that has not been played much, at least not by me. It is still a tank that when I first got it, there wasn't that gluttony of Prem tanks in Tier 8. And it was actually pretty competitive and great fun. And it was actually one of my best mediums. It was also the first medium line that I went up. So it was my first grindable medium in Tier 8. The only other one that I had at the time was a Type 59. So yeah, I will see if I can potentially play some games. It also depends a bit on when the games end and how much time there is between things. There is a certain safety in playing replays and aces, because you always get quality games. T-43 getting spotted, and they both shoot each other. This is a tricky position that he pulls back into, because not exactly safe from the camper lines on the other side. Tiger P, the Yak Tiger, both spotted. T-43 in a position where you can start wreaking havoc, but he has a teammate. And he tracks him, which is definitely helpful. And now the T-43 is almost gone. And our vodka takes him out. Tiger P moving up the citadel now. The defender is moving in as well. Tracking shot, but no damage having been done. Now you do damage. Thing is that with tanks like the defender, I also always immediately just start shooting Premo. And even that might not be enough. Tiger P making a move up above there. But overextending way too much. And we have a T-71. That is getting rammed. But luckily bounces the last shot. which allows our T-44 to start focusing on him instead. But he decides to just not be here because now it is a 6 versus 1 situation and you don't want to be in the line of fire of so many tanks. So he mainly just has to be careful and not get stuck against rocks. Because generally you survive a lot better if you don't get stuck. And how he survived this one is beyond me. He should be dead already. But he has some nice campers on the other side and he could potentially farm this into spotting. But he's deciding to get the heck out of there, which I also fully understand. And to just not get damaged. Shooting the rock a little bit. But regrouping with his teammates, taking a massive hit from the STA at the back there, which is flanking through their spawn. The defender not happy that people are staying at the back. And he spots no one, so they're not there anymore. Defender has been spotted. He takes a hit, and if the campers are doing their job, he will be dead now. But they're not, they're focusing on the STA. Which is something our guy can do as well. He has to be a little bit careful though. But every time the STA looks away, he can take a shot like that. And now the STA is repositioning himself. Looking at our T-44, who is now a bit trapped. He can't really do much of anything. Nice cheeky shot there. We are 3k damage into it. Anything can still happen. He has to be very careful with what he does and how he does it. And he takes the hit. And the HTC has just been killed. And now he's a one-shot. So he has to be very, very careful to make every shot count. The defender's still there. But there's no one in a position where he can actually shoot the defender. The defender does not know that though. Tiger P is now gone. The STA has been spotted. And if he were to pre-aim, he could potentially take this. The FT moving in. STA is now gone. Helsing getting a nice little shot. And the defender is just waiting at the back. So in this stage, there we go. And now it's just the defender and the Jagdtiger. And we know where the defender is. So he's carefully pulling back. Going back to potentially flank the defender, depending on where he is. Ooh, defender actually moved down now. But where is the Jagdtiger 88? This can be very... Ooh, there he is. This can be very tricky, but it can be like shooting fish in a barrel. So activate your adrenaline while right on. And take out that defender. 4.5k damage. Only 1 kill, but massive, massive damage. Compliments from the enemy. That is a rare sight indeed. Lovely game. Nearly 5k damage in the tier 8. That is a game to remember for sure. A little bit of assisted damage. Well, a little bit, nearly 900, but okay. Lovely game this. And now the room will be up any moment now. And then we get to see what happens between EG and Win. And everyone will be streaming the same games at this stage. So all streamers will be there. But it will definitely be interesting to watch and see what happens in the best of 9. We are starting off on Oasis Ponds. So there we go. There's a room. Let's get in there. Rip already there as well. And Now we just have to wait until the game begins. Let's have a look. We are going to Oasis Palms, like I said. And Oasis Palms looks like this. You have 3 bases. Base A considered a heavy base. B in the middle. C sort of matte base. It always looks like an upside down genie to me, this map. And that is completely useless info, but I felt I should share anyway. And it will be fun to see what they do, because there are so many camper lines in this map as well. We've seen a lot of campers getting murdered also for getting spotted in their spawn, so it will be interesting to see what tanks they take and what they do, what positions they take, because some of the spots that campers go to get shots in are highly predictable. So in about less than 4 minutes now we will see the first upper bracket matches, and they will start on this map. So let's take away the map so it's not blocking the screen for you. And pretty much EG all there, Win all there, but still deciding on the lineup, not entirely certain what they're going to drive. In the meantime, I'm going to take this opportunity to get myself a little bit of a drink. Mainly because of the fact that all this talking is making my throat dry. And we have EG now completely ready with just over 3 minutes left to go, so plenty of time. And they are picking a 268, 2 T22 mediums, 3 215Bs and STB. So basically one spotter with amazing view range and gun depression. And a lot of new meta-ish tanks aside from the 268 as well. Whoopsie now being moved in. 215B has been moved out. I wonder what Whoopsie is going to take. But they still have 2.5 minutes, so that's plenty of time. Win also not completely readied up yet. And here we go, he picks the 215B. So the lineup stays the same, just a different player. And on the other side we have Win that has readied up in 2 215Bs, 2 140s, a Foch, a T22 medium and potentially another Foch. But with 2 minutes left to go, we just need to be patient. At this stage, I don't feel I can tell you all that much. There is so much that has happened with the past games, but pretty much everyone has been following the lineups and the streams and all of that. And there you go. It is a second Foch, after all. And let's see if Win can pull another one out of their hat like they did against Raid. Because like I said, I've seen Win do pretty amazing things. And if I remember right, let's have a quick look-see with the professionals. Did they win versus EG, or was EG the winner of their matchup? It helps if you load, that is generally a good thing. Let's see. No, actually they got smashed by EG. But like I said, we've seen them do incredible things. So I'm curious to see what will happen now. And we have just a minute left to go. Everyone is ready up. This is where the point where I would love if there was just like, yeah, we are all ready, and then the game would just start. And then it would be a lot easier to just go for it. There are still some things being changed though. We see Venom unreadying, but he still has half a minute to change whatever he is changing. Possibly camo or loadout or equipment or consumables, because the FV has the OP consumables. It just depends on how much you want to take, because it also costs you slot for other stuff. 19 seconds left before we go into this first match of the best of 9. This means that whoever gets to 5 victories first is going to the grand finals on Sunday. And here we go, countdown timer has begun. We are ready. Gabe still a star and the rest pro. EG using some more different avatars. I like this. Win is one of the most polite clans here. For some reason, they always greet people like that. And let's go up and away, see what they do. We have been focusing entirely on the base A side, whereas EG is going mostly towards the other side. Ollie and RG spotting each other. RG pulling back, but the T-22 is moving into cap base C, with RG staying at the back. That basically means that A is free to take, which is exactly what Win is doing. But it will be EG that has an advantage here. Whoopsie moving into a position where he can potentially decap B and spot everyone that tries to go for it. But it's a bit of a dangerous position as he is pretty much alone there. He and Ollie spotting each other, proxy spotting each other. Blind shots being taken by the Foch there. And he reloads his clip. Ollie and Whoops the only one that are spotted at the moment. And Rambo taking a position more at the back. Probably to see if he can get into a position to spot some people. Or to murder some spotted people, I should say. Win rotating back towards their spawn. But Ollie staying where he is. To proxy spot. No one else has been spotted on Win's side though. Some shots happening where Camper just was. And we have the first damage into Winch there. Camper has been spotted. He has to be careful because he is only in Object 140. And he is not that heavily armored. Camper from north taking a big hit for that. And surviving an HE shot that actually hit the stand instead of him. Whoopsie taking a little bit of damage. Base B now being capped. And Ollie getting hit from the other side. Whoopsie taking the shot though. And that is Ollie not hitting the shot, but RG has lost quite a bit of HP. Win moving in. Stanley taking out RG, but losing quite a bit of HP for it. There goes RG. Killer not looking too healthy. Whoopsie not looking too healthy. And Ollie is focusing on Whoopsie with a Foch arriving that is finishing off Whoopsie. And now EG has lost 2 tanks. Rambo taking hits for it. Big hit into Verstappen. We have Lays moving in. We have Gabe moving in. Gabe not looking too healthy and set on fire, which does not help. He is going to be gone. Both teams have lost 2 tanks now. But Win has got 2 bases. If they are careful, they got this. But the tricky part is they have to be careful. We see that they are moving quite aggressively. Ollie just got pretty much massacred. There he goes. And that could be the game changer for all of them. There goes Kuma. We have Rambo that takes a hit, but he does take out Verstappen. We are at 860 points. But Camper is now gone. Pretty much, if Win hadn't pushed quite as aggressively, they would have had this. But as it is, Rambo stands no chance against this T-22. Even if he gets another shot in, there are too many tanks left. And there he goes. And the game is for EG when it really should have been for Win. Win just pushing too aggressively, losing too much HP, going over those dunes, trying to get tanks and then not committing to it. Very well held by EG. 4 tanks with more than 1k XP. That is a rarity for sure. So now we have a minute and a half left before we go into the second match of this matchup. Again, best of 9. Team that reaches 5 victories first is through to the grand finals on Sunday. And then on Saturday we get to see the lower bracket. So both teams are completely ready. Oh, okay. Romcast switching tanks quickly. We have a 268, 2 T22 mediums, 3 215Bs and an STB on EG's side. Going up against 1 215B, maybe, an STB, 2 Foshes, a T22 medium and potentially 2 140s. Yes, they stick with 2 140s. Less than a minute left to go before we get to the second match. And... oh, 268 keeps being changed. Now it was an E5, but it might change back. No, it sticks with an E5. E5, of course, having the new consumables, and it can work really well on this map. E5 is still a tricky tank, though. The tank itself hasn't changed much, but the consumables might give it just a bit of an edge. It will be very... I wonder what Win is going to do now, because they had all the advantage last game, and they basically threw it out themselves when they really didn't have to. So let's see where they're going to go and if they can fix it. In 4 seconds we get to see the second match of this best of 9, and here we go. Nice camo this, looks nice. Stars also working very well on the E5. Yes, for sure. And here we go. EG focusing on the C side again. Now Win doing pretty much the same thing, but with 1 2 215B. Heading towards the middle. Whoopsie going into a similar position as before, but more to the back, holding in a sort of camping position. RG and Killer both losing a bit of HP, but they are a bit caught out in the open. They can't really retreat as much. Orca in a good position there. That was a nice bounce going into the sky, but Gabe has lost quite a bit of HP for this. Killer getting shot for crossing over. Win retreating. Orca taking a big hit from the Fosh there, but Rambo takes shots for it as well, losing about an equal amount. He hugs the rock, but with Win retreating, Rambo is not in a very advantageous position, and he has to be careful not to get rushed, because as the all one out, and he does get hit quite badly here. Oof. Getting tracked does not help. He is still alive, but barely. And Shock is moving in, taking the risk to take Rambo out. And that is a very big gun out of the way. Win's losing a lot of HP. Win moving in, shooting people from the city as they make the push. Gabe there to spot. And now both teams have a base. HP wise, AG still has an advantage. They also have a gun advantage. And they have a tiny point advantage. EG now basically holding. Ollie in a bit of precarious position. Camper losing some HP. He has to be careful. Base A now being capped. Lace losing some HP. Gabe caught out in the open. He has to be careful. He has to not be there really. And we have EG rotating, moving to take out Lace and Ollie. And there's nothing they can do about it. Lace is almost gone. There he goes. Ollie is retreating. He might still get some damage, but he's going to be massacred quite quickly. And even though they have two bases now, Win is at a definite disadvantage in guns, points, and HP. Mainly HP, because that is a definitely near a 5k difference, 4.5k. Camper almost gone. Next reload, he will not be there anymore. He does get another shot in, and he actually bounces, but then he gets shot from behind, and that is the end of that. It is 3 versus 6. There are quite a few low health targets on, well, actually all sides now. There goes Killer. There goes Kuma, and now only Gabe is left, and he is finished off by RG. A game that started so well, but EG, nice aggressive push. Not even a push straight off, but more the crossfire killed off win here. What a game that was. It's not that different in the damage that has been done, but EG just held better and win didn't take out the one-shots. They weren't able to. So now it is 2-0. Again, the one that reaches 5 victories first is the one that goes through to the grand finals on Sunday. And now we just have to wait. We are moving on to Desert Sands, so let me actually call up that map for you a little bit. Desert Sands looks something like this. You have 3 bases, base A in the desert, B and C in the sort of ruiny town part of it. C the most protected, B the most open, A the most likely to get capped and decapped because of the fact that it's so... it's pretty much the positioning around A is always nicer. We see a lot of brawling happening in the desert, and I'm very curious to see if we will see some brawling now. I would expect that because this map really invites for it. So let's take away the map so that it's not on your screen. I keep checking that like multiple times to make sure that it is not. And we have win now completely readied up with 2 215Bs, 2 140s, a Foch, an STB and a T22 medium. And they're going to go up against an unready team, so I can't really call it out yet, but there is still half a minute left to decide. And it looks like they have 1 140, 2 T22 mediums, 2 215Bs, an STB and an E5. Pretty much a new meta lineup on both sides with some filler tanks. The STB having a pretty prominent role in the tournament at the moment, and I quite like that. Is such a lovely tank with of course the amazing view range and the little bit of buff, the little bit of troll armor that it has in the turret. It makes all the difference. And here we go into the third match of this best of 9. I love that green camo. It looks really good on pretty much all tank. That's my soon to be that tank. It's going to explode. And here we go. And let's have a look. We have both teams heading towards the desert primarily, with only Gabe going towards the middle. We see quite an aggressive gameplay. Killer already taking some damage. Chocolate already moving into cap. Killer crossfired a little bit, losing more HP. At this stage you don't want to lose XP this fast. Kuma moving into a position to potentially shoot RG. He does, but he does take a shot back as well. And we have Rambo moving towards the middle. We have Gabe having pushed up from the middle. He is a little bit the old one out though, so he has to be careful, especially versus Winch and Whoopsie that know that he's there. That can take him out. Ooh, but that was a nice double tap though. And Gabe facing off against Winch. Rambo ignoring him, but Killer coming to help. Or not even. They are focusing on Whoopsie. They are trusting Gabe to take out that E5. I want to show you everything. There's an aggressive push happening on this side. And Orca losing HP. Orca the first one gone. Kuma soon followed. Winch still alive. But there he goes. Chocolate now being focused on. And at this stage, it looks to be Win's game, but it can still go every which way. At this stage though, it is 6 versus 3. Romka is sadly being massacred. Being blocked. And even though Lace is likely to go die, if RG manages to murder him. No, he actually takes out Camper. There goes Whoopsie, and now only RG is left. And there he goes. And the game is for Win. Like I said, Brawl in the Desert, quite aggressive gameplay. That is what this map invites. You either get this or you get very still-made games. And it worked out. Gabe moving in, pulling Winch away. It was enough. And now the score is 2-1. And it is not over yet. Win already almost completely ready for the second match on Desert Sands. With a 215B, 3 140s, a Fortune STB and a T22 medium. They are bringing the DPM. And now we just wait for EG to completely ready up as well so that I can read the lineup. They still have about over a minute, so it's plenty of time. And they are rated up in 3 215Bs, 2 T22 mediums and STB. Oh, it's actually 4 215Bs. That can work out really well because of that, those OP consumables and the provisions, people doing less damage to them, the speed boost and all of that. It can be a very deadly combination. And if they start focus firing, they pack quite a wallop. So it will be good to see if this works. So many of the same tanks, but on the other hand, you have 3 Object 140s against you. It's mainly the mobility. It's basically going to be about the focus fire and who shoots who first, I think. We still have 30 seconds left to go. As for the music, I don't really have a choice of that. I'm using a copyright-free playlist for you, so that I'm not going to be hit by a lot of copyright strikes. And I just have it on shuffle. He is streaming on the official Blitz channel. Just so you know. And here we go. Let's see what happens in the 4th game. Winch using the lovely fan camo that they got in RTK. And let's see if they're gonna go desert. If we're gonna see another desert brawl, I would quite expect that, to be fair. Because overall positioning in the desert is so much more pleasant. We have Chocolate moving a bit to the back. Orca holding, RG going to spot. He spots Camper. And Camper takes the first hit. RG as well. And we have the 140s and the STBs. The Mats basically in position. With the force at the back that has been spotted, and that can be a tricky thing. He will probably get shot at. 268 heading into the desert as well. Pretty much everyone is into the desert as per usual. RG now being focused on. And not sure if EG is going to arrive in time to save RG here. But if they overextend trying to take out RG, it can work very much against him because Camper has lost quite a bit of HP already. We have Whoopsie losing HP to Ollie. Chocolate protecting RG, but it is costing them, and there goes RG after all. The 140s moving in, focusing on Chocolate. Orca not looking too healthy. Whoopsie almost gone. There goes Whoopsie. There goes Chocolate. There goes Lace as well. But it is 6 versus 3. HP wise, Win has double the HP. And there goes Winch. Sorry, Win has double the HP. So many similar names. And we see that there are 3 tanks left. There goes Orca. Venom not looking too healthy, getting rammed to death. Romka the only one left. And there he goes. It was a very quick game. About 1 minute and 45 seconds into it. And it is over. But the game is full win. So now it is 2-2. Very lovely games these. Very quick and unexpected. I quite like them. And we are moving on to the 3rd map, which is Castilla. Castilla looks like this. You have 3 bases. Base A, the med base. Base C, the heavy base. Base B, the lots of lines of fire from any camper position base. And it is a difficult map to work and rotate. We generally see a lot of stalemate games here, mainly because people will be going up the citadel and holding, facing off against each other, not making a move before fear of getting shot by the campers that are on both sides. And that is why I hate this map for tournaments, because I'm not a fan of stalemate gaming. But we will see what happens. So far the games have definitely not been still, even when you would expect them to. So it will be fun. And we have Win that is almost completely ready with still a minute left to go. Taking an FV405, you don't see that very often. It is very HEable by pretty much all tanks, and that makes it a bit of a risk. And here we go. We have two 215Bs, two STBs, the 4005, the Foch and the T22 medium. And they're going to go up against a mostly unknown lineup yet. In the meantime, if you have been watching the portal, you will have gone 3 crates already. And the 4th one is Stanley coming as well. I actually have it playing, so I am keeping a little bit of eye on what Brian is doing. He is an awesome commentator. I love that he's getting these opportunities. And we have EG now with 9 seconds left to go, readying up in 2 IS-4s, an STB, a 215B, a T22 medium, a 268 and a Foch. Very interesting lineup. Haven't seen IS-4s being used in today's, well, in these matches at least, yet. So it will be cool to see what they do with them. This camera also looks so good on so many tanks. I like the sort of honey, whatchamacallit, the great thing. I can't think of the word. Honeycomb, that's the word. Winch in the OP camo, the fan camo. And here we go. Win focusing primarily on the A side. EG going a lot more towards the C side. With the T22 and Winch moving towards base B. If they manage to cap it, they will have a big advantage. Killer wanting to spot people that are going towards base C. Not doing so yet, but now he does. They know he's there, and he knows they're there. Orca not moving into cap. The base being protected from Winch and basically by Laze as well. First damage being taken by Killer, who then pulls back and decides to not be there. Base A has not been capped. Camper is pulling back, probably going to quickly cap. But base B is also almost capped. And that will mean that EG has a definite advantage here. It also means that they are free to wait and camp now. And that the pressure... Ooh, Orca! Taking massive hits there as he retreats from the base. Winch repositioning himself. Lace holding at the back. Hiding behind the buildings. But if he did not, he would lose a lot of HP. EG rotating. Orga moving more to the back. Win as well. Rambo pulling back. Potentially we're going to see a push. All of Win is retreating. Heading towards the same location. And they definitely have to keep base B if they want this to work. Camper has been spotted. We see Kuma making a move. Rambo has been spotted. Crossing over. Very juicy Rambo. Camper's being shot at, but no damage is being done. And we see the T22 and the STB making a move. Whereas the 2 and 5Bs are doing the same thing. They are expecting a push from this side. STBs holding together. This is a lovely spot for an STB, but you can be a little bit stuck there. And we have the FVs arriving on the other side. Whoopsie having been spotted. Lines of fire happening. Camper taking some damage, but not all that much. They kind of have to be careful. Chocolate is keeping them spotted now. Lace has been spotted. Oof, Camper taking a bit of a hit there. And we have the Foch at the back. Chocolate is pulling back into the lines of fire from his TDs. We have the 215Bs that are moving in. But overall, it is not looking too good for Win, especially not with Ollie in that position. Win's losing a little bit of HP. There is a lot of stuff going on. Oh, Camper just got pretty much deleted Gabe and Ollie are both gone. Camper is not soon to be following. There goes Winch. There goes RG. There goes Camper. It is 5 versus 4. And Killer is steadily being murdered very quickly. And they're not taking out the one-shots. There goes Killer. They need to take out Orca. There he goes. But then it is still 4 versus 3. And they have 2 bases now. They don't need to take the chance. But there goes Kuma. And Kuma is steadily being massacred. And we are at 1k points. EG has it already. They were too late to get the points. And with all the kills happening, even I missed it. It was just happening so fast. EG took it home. And it is 3 versus 2 in victory in games days. And the first one to reach 5 is through to the grand finals. And pretty much these will be the last games that we see tonight, because on Saturday we have the lower brackets and then we have the grand finals on Sunday. In the grand finals, also best of 9. All the matches from now on are best of 9. And that is a little bit not necessarily tricky, but exhausting to play, but also to stream, because those are so many games. Potentially you have 18 games in one evening with time in between, and the games all have to calculate 7 minutes for each with 2 minutes in between. That is why there's so much time between the first round and the second, because already with the best of 7 that can be quite extensive, but with the best of 9 it's a lot worse than that. Win now completely read up with 2 215Bs, 2 STBs, 2 Forces and a T22 medium versus a 268, a T22 medium, 2 215Bs, another 2 T22 medium, another 268 and an AMX 50B. So 2 268s, 2 T22 mediums, 2 215Bs and an AMX. Very interesting tank choice. Not sure if that's going to work. Mostly autoloaders seem to be the strongest when there's 2 of them. 1 268 has been exchanged for an STB and the AMX has been exchanged for a Batchat. A very mobile working lineup for EG. And we are going in. The countdown clock has begun. We are ready to see the 6th match of this best of 9. And here we go. And let's see. Lovely little camo on the back chat as well. Also the honeycomb kind of thing. It's kind of a thing right now. And here we go. Again, Castilla definitely not one of my favorite maps, but that was definitely not a boring game that we just had. EG heading towards the middle and base A. Win doing the same thing. 2 215Bs are overlooking it. We have the Batchat that's going up the hill in the camper position. Romka shooting the ground there. Win not moving in. Similar jump into the water by the T22s, that was quite funny. And the Forces are spotted already. They will have to be careful where they are. Shots already being fired. Rambo also losing a little bit of HP. And the Forces are not necessarily stuck, but in a tricky position because they can't really do anything where they are. Kuma taking some damage moving forwards. Gabe losing a little bit of HP. Camper as well. And now we have the T22s moving in. They want to take out these T22s. But with the guns that are behind, this is a very risky move. And Romka is almost gone. Chocolate is almost gone, but so is Camper. There goes Romka. There goes Camper as well. And there goes Chocolate. And now EG is at a bit of a disadvantage. Gabe is almost gone though. Orca is going down into the water. He's not likely to make it out alive. He still managed to get some damage in. Rambo is almost dead. We have RG now being pushed. And again, Win taking a lot of chances, and it's not always going to work, because now Win has lost more guns than EG has. Killer now, Kumano also gone. It is 2 versus 4. It is 2 versus 3. But Lace has a bad chat that's coming at him. And it's coming at him fast. And he has to be careful there. Ollie now also moving in. Lace steadily being murdered. Whoopsie moving at the back. He is quite far, but Lace is almost gone. And this is not looking good for Lace at all. Especially not since he's pulling into the line of fire from Whoops. And you see Whoops aiming and he misses. But he still dies. And now it's only Ollie. Very aggressive move by Win. And it did not work out. It seems that halfway through the push, they don't seem to commit to it. And that is mainly the problem. Full health Whoopsie arriving. Venom staying behind Ollie. Can actually zoom in a little bit to show you. And he is taken out. And the game is for EG. Again, a pretty quick game. Let's actually look. Just over 3 minutes long. And I love the push that Win did, but they didn't quite commit to it. They split up too far, too much. It didn't work. And it took too long to take out the guy that jumped into the water. So it is now 4-2. The pressure is definitely on Win. They have to win the next 3 games if they want to go through to the grand finals straight off. And EG just has to win 1 more to do that. So we are actually going to another map. A map that we have seen before today. Dynasty Pearl, the Panda map. You have base A, heavy base, base C, the map base B, the super heavy base. And we generally see a lot of mines and Jaegers and E3s here. And they can perform really well. They can be strengths and they can be weaknesses. We've seen them be both. And I'm eager to see what happens here. So the map is going. I keep checking OBS to make sure that it's not on the screen for you. And we have EG now completely readied up in an E5, 2 Foshes, 2 Mice, a Batchat, and an IS4. And they're going to go up against 3 215Bs, a 140, 2 Foshes, and a T22 medium. Seriously, I like seeing the E5 being used as much as it has. I still don't know if it's as competitive as it should be as compared to other tanks, but it does have the mobility, especially with the speed boost, and it can hold its own. At the same time, it is relatively juicy, but wiggle that thing a lot and it can work so well. So like I said, the pressure is definitely on as we enter the countdown clock to go into the 7th match of this best of 9. Win has to win all 3 games to go through to the grand finals, and EG has to just win 1 more. And I think that if they had managed to take out Orca last game in the water, it would have made such a difference. Or if they had just ignored him and gone to help their teammates, but it took too long. That is a lovely little spectator tank to use. Not sure who that is, but it's either a PK or it is Brian. And let's see what happens in this potentially decisive battle. We have all of Win focusing on the A side, and most of EG doing the same thing, using those speed boosts to get places quickly on both sides. Teams have been spotted. Romka in the E5 has been spotted. He takes the first bit of damage before he can get into safety. And we have the 140s moving in, shooting Romka as they go, working to take out that gun. Ollie having lost a little bit of HP, and now they are being halted a little bit, but they do take out Romka. But at what cost? Rambo moving in, going to shoot the Foch. Foch is next in line. They want that Foch out of the way. EG rotating around. And we have the Foches that are now reloaded. Almost. And they're not being taken out fast enough. They are standing more out in the open. Ollie is gone. There goes Chocolate. There goes Orca. And it is 6 versus 4, but 2 of them are mice. And that makes them literal heavy targets. We have Kuma heading around. Rambo almost gone. Camper arriving. They need to focus on the same targets. They need to focus on the juicy targets first, most likely. The Batchat is being taken out. Camper is next in line on Wind's side. But the IS-4 is almost gone, and that would leave just the 2 mice. And in that stage, for 2 mice being shot from 4 different sides, it can be very difficult. They are focusing on the same target. Winch is almost gone. He is hugging. Kuma is waiting for that shot. And there we go. Lace actually takes it home. Kuma moving in. Whoopsie, the only one left. And here we go. The match is actually for win. It is not over yet. So these are definitely exciting battles. A potentially decisive battle, not so decisive. It is 4-3. Win needs to win 2 battles in order to go through. And our EG just has to win 1. We are going to the second match on Dynasty's Pearl. We see some changes being made. But Win has readied up in 3 215Bs, an Optic 140, 2 Forces and a T22 medium. And they are going to go up against, let's see if they stick with the same lineup or not. With an IS-4, a T22 medium, a 215B, an E5, 2 Forces and an STB. They left the mice behind. And I think that is a good call, because in this case, with the position and the rush that they were in, the mice just took too long to get there and were too slow to make an impact in this case. What game that was, though. We have 50 seconds left to go before we go into the 8th match of this best of 9. These guys are going to be so exhausted after these matches. It's going to be even worse on Saturday. In that way, I like that the finals are just the finals on that day and nothing else. Because that actually makes them have all their concentration for that one best of 9. Someone just said the video has stopped. It hasn't for me. It looks quite healthy, so I'm hoping that it's just continuing soon. 14 seconds in before we go into this 8th match. It is definitely interesting games. Like I said, we have seen Win done amazing things this tournament. EG is steadily one of the best. Always has been. First as Big Game in Eros, part XX RTK. Amazing team with amazing players. So let's see what happens. In again, a potentially decisive match that will all depend on whether or not they manage to win this match. Because if they win it, EG is through to the grand final straight off. They won't even have to play on Saturday. And here we go. Let's have a look. Let's see what happens. EG focusing on the C side this time. Win doing the same thing. That can lead to a potential quick brawl. Straight off. Lace going quite aggressively. He's being spotted. Hiding. And we have Win doing the same moves that they did before. Whoopsie moving in. Lace still capping. Kuma taking some damage there. Lace taking massive damage from the forces in the middle. The 215B is moving, and this is basically a repeat of what we saw earlier today. And I'm not sure if it's going to work out. Lace not looking too healthy. Orca and Whoopsie almost gone. It will be all about the focus fire. There goes Whoopsie. Lace still alive, but barely. EG bleeding HP. The STB not looking too healthy. There goes RG. There goes Orca as well. And it is 7 versus 4. But there are a lot of low HP targets. And the Force Winch is definitely a preferred target. Oh, look at these. Look at the HP just drop all around. I can't believe these people are still alive. Overall, they really should not be. Chocolate not taking that shot. And it's actually Killer from North that is the first from Win to disappear. Romka almost gone as well. And there Romka goes, and Win takes the victory again. Look at the HP though, they've pretty much low everywhere. What a game. Again, a very, very quick game, less than 2 minutes into it. This is the shortest one yet. And it is now 4-4, and we go to the tiebreaker in Main Ruins. Main Ruins looks like this. You have 3 bases, C the mid base, A the heavy base, B in the middle. It is the most difficult base to cap, but if you manage to do cap it, it will be very hard for the enemy to steal it from you. Oh my god, I can't get over these matches though. We are entering the tiebreaker. The pressure is on for both of them now, and that is awesome. Win having pulled some magic out of their hat. Let's put that and not the other word that you could put for that. Let's take away the map so it won't be blocking your screen. I'm just checking to make sure that it's really not there. We have just over a minute left to go before we go into the tiebreaker, and we have EG readying up in 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 215Bs, a T22 medium and 2 Foshes. And they are going to go up against, if they ready up, we know for sure. There we go, 4 215Bs, 2 Foshes and a T22 versus 3 222s, 3 215Bs, sorry. An Object 140, a Fosh and 2 Mice. The Mice could potentially be a huge risk here. Let's just ready up actually, and let's check that it's actually PK on my side, which means that on that side we have Rip and Rolling Swarm. We see some tanks being changed. 2 215Bs have been changed to 140s. And again, the Mice can take it home, but it can also be a giant risk. So I'm very curious to see how that will pan out for them. Like I said, the pressure is on for both of them. The winner of this next match is going through to the grand finals. And they won't have to play on Saturday. They just have to play the best of 9 on Sunday. And here we go. Into the last match of this best of 9. And let's see what happens. Again, it will be probably all dependent on the focus fire and who meets who where exactly. Anything can happen. Let's go up and away and see what they do. We have Win focusing and primarily on the A/B side of things, with Camper heading more towards the middle, Whoopsie heading more towards the middle, with Chocolate heading towards base C, base B being left where it is, the Fosh overlooking it, first shot being fired but it hits the ground, Chocolate losing a bit of HP from Camper, and a big hit into Venom there. But base C has almost been capped, so that means that EG will have the advantage. And we see that A is being capped and Camper is actually capping base B, and that can be very tricky. If he gets away with it, then by all means the Mice are moving to make it so, and he actually does get it, and that means that it will be Win that has an advantage. But they have to be careful. They are sort of caught out in the open now, and Camper is in a little bit of trouble here, facing off against the 2 215Bs. We have EG that is running back towards their spawn, and now that Fosh is a bit far away. We have the Mouse taking massive hits. They are almost gone. And there goes one, and that is the first tank out. And Win is losing too much HP here. The rushes that worked so well for them are not working now. HP wise they are 3k behind now, steadily gaining more. There goes Killer, and Win has lost 3 tanks now. And at this stage Chocolate is still alive, still doing damage, even though he really shouldn't be. It is 3 versus 5. The game is for EG. EG is through to the grand finals on Sunday. Even though there are a few tanks left alive, they are barely alive. And only Rambo is left now. Very nicely played. Awesome games all around. And EG is through to the grand finals on Sunday. What a matchup this was. We are actually ending with the tiebreak and everything. It is awesome, lovely. So that is actually brilliant. We know now that on Saturday, let's have a look. Tournaments, brackets, and all of that. On Saturday, we start off by Local versus Raid. The winner of that is up against Win, and the winner of that is going against EG on Sunday. So we have 2 matchups on Saturday with best of 9s both, and 1 matchup on Sunday with a best of 9 on pretty much all my favorite maps, to be fair, because if we look at this, you can see you have Vineyards, you have Faust, you have Naval Frontier, Normandy, and Alpenstadt, and I love all of them, especially Faust. Faust is mwah, to die for. But what a matchup this was. What a worthy finals match this would have been already. And we just still have matches left to go. So epically played by EG, epically played by Win for sure as well. And that is it for me tonight. These are the matches that I had to show. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I have. I will be back on Saturday with Asia, EU and NA. And I hope to see you guys then. Thank you all for watching. Thanks to EG and Win for the amazing games. Also before, of course, Win versus Raid. Also lovely games. Win taking it like that was just, I have to admit, a little bit unexpected with Raid being the world champion and all. Win definitely proved tonight that they definitely deserve to be in the top 4. So definite kudos to them. Again, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the gameplay that we had. And I'll be seeing you guys on Saturday. Have a good night.